Five-star quarterback Ty Simpson out of Westview High School in Martin, Tennessee, has just announced his commitment to the University of Alabama. What a huge victory on the recruiting trail for Bill O'Brien and Jay Graham. Really can't stress how important it was for this new coaching staff to get this five-star quarterback in this class and have him help to build the remainder of the 2022 class. When you have an elite signal caller, it just makes things that much easier for you out on the recruiting trail. We'll take a look at Ty's commitment and what it means for the University of Alabama football program in today's episode of Tide Talk, and we'll get started right now. I want to start today's episode off the same way that we always do. Get in the comment section right now and let me know what you think. How many five stars will Alabama have in its 2022 class when everything is said and done? I'll pin that down in the comment section, and I cannot wait to see what you all think about that. All right. Moving right along here, I want to spend just a few minutes talking about this commitment and what it means for the University of Alabama. But before we get into all that, if you haven't hit that subscribe button just yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. This is our second season covering Alabama athletics and recruiting here on our YouTube channel, and we couldn't be any more excited about the growth that we've experienced and the support that we've gotten from all of you. Hit that subscribe button right now and help us reach our goal of having 7,500 subscribers on the Alabama Football News and Rumors channel, and we surely would appreciate it, just as sure as the tide will roll. All right, got that out of the way. Let's get back into this commitment and what it means for the University of Alabama. Now, the 247 Sports Composite Rankings has Ty as the number 3 pro-style quarterback in the entire nation, and I don't think that there's a recruiting analyst in the country that would argue against the fact that this young man has a legitimate shot at being the number 1 quarterback when everything is said and done. And even if the rankings don't say so, he is definitely good enough to be in that conversation. At least Tide Talk Sports will have him in that conversation. I can assure you of that. All right, Ty Simpson. What is he as a quarterback prospect? Well, he's a young man that can make every single throw that you need him to make. He is not a typical dual threat guy that really runs before he throws. Most of the moving around that Ty does is to extend the play, keeps his eyes downfield, but he's definitely athletic enough to get himself out of trouble if need be. He's got some wheels, so don't sleep on his running ability, but his arm is just absolutely incredible. He can make literally every single throw that Bill O'Brien will ask him to make. An elite quarterback prospect, no doubt about it, and a fine young man as well. Off the field, he checks every box. On the field, he checks every box, and he will be a great leader for this 2022 class and really will be a very important part of pulling the rest of this class together. And, you know, this class, even though it may not finish ranked as highly as the 21 class, I mean, that was the greatest class of all time. It will be absolutely crazy with depth and talent from top to bottom. We're talking about yet another situation where Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide wind up with a class that has probably 5 or 6 five-star prospects in it. I've got Walter Nolan penciled in, and there are several more that we definitely need to keep an eye on. Really just couldn't be any more excited, though, about the commitment of Ty Simpson to the University of Alabama. Now, I mentioned a little bit earlier what a big victory this was on the recruiting trail for Bill O'Brien and for Jay Graham. Of course, O'Brien was his primary recruiter. Graham was his secondary recruiter. And this past week was just really a masterpiece of how to play the recruiting game. Of course, the greatest of all time, Nick Saban, was involved as well. Got a little assist from Coach Saban in closing the deal. But for those of you that were worried about the recruiting ability of this new staff, you heard me say several times that having that script A on your chest really seems to help things as far as that is concerned. And here's another example of that. Bill O'Brien and Jay Graham have not even been on the staff at the University of Alabama really long enough to amount to anything just yet, and they've already secured a commitment from who is, in my opinion, the best quarterback prospect in the country. Now, some of you are going to say, well, you're only saying that because you're an Alabama fan as well as an Alabama analyst. And to that I say you're absolutely right. The world looks a little better when you're viewing it through crimson-colored glasses, and maybe you should try it out as well. Ty Simpson is the signal caller for the class of 22 for the University of Alabama, and I couldn't be any more excited about that. Hey, before we start to wrap everything up, not going to keep everybody very, very long. I just want to take a few minutes here to thank each and every one of you that have shown us support here on our channel. We are so excited about the future and what we've got planned for you all. We just wanted to take a second and thank you for your support and to let you know that if you haven't checked out TideTalkSports.com just yet, head on over there today and check it out. We've got an all-new user forum, one for football, one for basketball. The plan is to have one for each sport, but we really are looking forward to seeing each and every one of you join the conversation over in that forum on TideTalkSports.com, and I'll be looking for you over there. All right, real quick here, let's review today's episode. We got a commitment from one of the best quarterbacks in the entire nation. Bill O'Brien and Jay Graham get their first big-time recruiting win out on the trail for Coach Nick Saban. And really, really, this 2022 class for Alabama is, I think, will start to come together pretty quickly from this point forward. The next couple of episodes that we do, we will refocus in on recruiting. Been working through our pre-spring practice position group previews, and we're going to get into the defensive side of the ball probably towards the middle of this next upcoming week. But recruiting is such a big part of what we do here on the channel. We're going to take a couple of days since we got this incredible commitment from Ty Simpson and look at who could be next to pull the trigger for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you joining us here for another episode of Tide Talk on the Alabama Football News and Rumors channel on YouTube, presented by Chat Sports. I'm Ricky Green, and we'll see you next time. Roll Tide.